As everyone knows, recently, this past Sunday, we had an incident of so-called protesters entering the city's church in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area and confronting the congregation of the church and the pastor because they had heard that one of the pastors of the church, whether an assistant or an associate or whatever the case might be, was a member of ICE. And these people came in screaming at the people of the church, disrupting their worship, ending their worship, and telling them that they were not Christians because that they had placed chosen a man, which being a Baptist church, he was elected by the people and could not have been in that position had not the people chosen him to be in that position. And accusing these people because they had this member of ICE as a part of their pastoral board, that somehow that they were unchristian, and they called it a protest. But this thing was not a protest. What it actually was an act of terrorism, and that was the intent. Of course, terrorism, I cannot give you the exact legal definition of it, but I do know that it is something that is done to instill fear in order to change people's position or practice politically through fear, to get them to change the way they do things, whether it be a government or a group of people, or in this case, a religious group, whatever the case might be. And so that makes it an act of terrorism. It was not protest, it was terrorism. And I don't think it's enough to charge these people with the FACE Act, which, thank God, even though it's a terribly abused thing, a weapon used against pro-life people in their protesting of the taking of innocent life, a part was added on the back of that it can be used against those who violate the sanctity of a place of worship and interfere with people's ability to worship. Now, folks, you cannot, with your First Amendment, deny somebody else of their First Amendment right to worship. And this was not a protest. As I said, it was an act of terrorism, and it's not enough to use the FACE Act, and it's not enough to use the KKK law. These people should be charged with terrorism, because that's what they are. They are not protesters, they are terrorists. Now, I celebrate the fact that maybe 3 of them so far have been arrested, but I want to see every last person that was involved in that, not only those that were present, but those that were involved in organizing it and those that were involved in funding it, all of them charged with terrorism. It was not protest, it was terrorism.